There's one app that 97% of South Korea uses. One app. You wake up, turn off your alarm on this app. Call a taxi to work on this app. Split the lunch bill on this app. Send your friend a luxury perfume for their birthday on this app. Text a coffee coupon to a colleague on this app. Check your utility bill on this app. Make dinner plans on this app. Calls, this app. Money? This app. Taxes? This app. One phone, one app, everything solved. This is Kakao Talk, the digital life of Korea, distilled. But here's where it gets strange. What if that one app didn't just handle your personal life, but your work life too? Because that's exactly what happens. Countless Korean companies use Kakao Talk as their official work messenger. Personal and professional, two entirely separate worlds, existing in the same app with the same notification sound. So your chat list looks like this. Family, right next to department, all 34 people. Close friends, sitting above project team, 8 members. A conversation with mom directly below CEO, 5 others. Koreans know this reality intimately. Phone calls, text messages, emails, none of that matters anymore. Every conversation flows through this one yellow app. And that's when something shifts. 8 out of 10 Korean workers receive work messages on Kakao Talk after they've clocked out. This isn't the exception. This is standard operating procedure. There's a word in Korean, Nunchi. It means reading the room, sensing social cues. There's also a phrase, balri, mean hurry. From 1960 to 1990, South Korea underwent compressed economic growth that fundamentally altered the national psychology. 30 years to transform an entire economy. That speed became embedded in the cultural DNA. Speed equals competitive advantage. Kakao Talk's immediacy fits this formula perfectly. You send a message and don't get a response within a minute? Look, I'll be honest, that creates anxiety. Did they leave me on red? Are they ignoring me? Someone might say, it's just 1 or 2 minutes. What's the problem? Fair point. 1 or 2 minutes to respond to a message seems reasonable. But here's what I find genuinely bizarre. What happens when those 1 or 2 minute intervals stack up continuously? Weekends, weekdays, work messages keep arriving. The number is 11.3 hours per week. That's how much time Korean workers spend on work-related tasks on smart devices outside their legal working hours. Calculate that annually, and you get 587.6 hours. Hard to visualize that number? If you work 8 hours a day, that's 73 days. Nearly 2.5 months of unpaid labor. And this time, it doesn't appear anywhere on your paycheck. Labor law doesn't account for it. Sociologists call this shadow work, labor that's invisible but undeniably real. I find that term remarkably accurate. The average Korean belongs to 6.5 group chats. Each one has its own ecosystem, its own unwritten rules. There's the chat where photos keep flooding in. Someone's baby pictures, today's lunch, notifications hitting 9999. There's the announcement-only chat. Monday morning meeting, 9 a.m. Nobody responds, but all 34 members show read. Everyone saw it. There's the deadline chat, Project Due D3, where someone posts something at 2 a.m. And there's the awkward group chat, where someone said, hello everyone 3 days ago and nobody replied. You want to leave, but you can't. Leaving would make you look weird. 82% of people report stress from group chats. The top reason? Constant notifications. Second? Feeling pressured to reply when you just want to observe. Third? Excessive intimacy feels burdensome. Korea has this concept called jung, deep interpersonal warmth. Looking out for each other, celebrating birthdays, offering comfort during hard times, sharing small victories. This is what supposedly binds organizations together. They said, great work today, hang in there, fighting, and show up birthday cake emojis flooding the chat. But this warm culture, at some point, it morphed into justification for 24/7 connectivity. Someone asks in the group chat at 11 p.m., did everyone eat dinner? Don't respond? You become the cold person. Work and personal blur. The boundary between professional and social dissolves, so people say excessive intimacy feels burdensome. But they can't leave, because leaving would mean severing the relationship entirely. I'm not sure how to explain this paradox, but Kakao Talk seems to have understood. In May 2023, they released a feature, Leave Quietly, exactly what it sounds like. Exit a group chat without anyone being notified. Why does it need to be quiet? Because when that message pops up, so-and-so has left the chat. People start asking questions. Why did they leave? Do they not like us? Isn't that rude? Within 3 weeks of launching this feature, 2 million people turned it on. 2 million people wanted to escape quietly. Kakao Talk saw the overwhelming response. 3 months later, August 2023, they rolled out another feature. Quiet chat room. You remain in the chat, but you don't see unread message counts and notifications are silenced. Physically present, mentally distant. The service itself admitted it. Koreans want to escape their group chats. Here's the irony. Korea's Nunchi culture forced Kakao Talk to create a feature that lets you ignore Nunchi. Isn't that some kind of circular logic? In the 18th century, philosopher Jeremy Bentham designed a prison called the Panopticon, a circular building with a watchtower in the center, prisoner cells arranged around the perimeter. The key insight? Prisoners can see the watchtower, but they can't see inside it. So they never know if the guard is watching them right now, or watching someone else. Michel Foucault analyzed this. The essence of surveillance isn't whether you're actually being watched, but making you believe you might be watched. But Messenger app structure is different. The person who sent the message, let's say your boss has already finished their task. They issued instructions, sent the message. The recipient hasn't read it yet. Technically, nothing has happened, but the message has already been sent. It's floating somewhere on a server. Eventually, it will be seen. And that small number 1 keeps broadcasting someone hasn't read this yet. Your boss isn't actively monitoring you right now. Your boss might already be asleep. But the message, from the moment it was sent, creates pressure. Should I read it? Should I check now? They said by tomorrow morning. This is the structural pressure created by a sent message. The watchtower is always on. More precisely, it activates the moment a message is sent. Even when nobody's watching you, within this structure, something revealing emerges. People in their 30s, the generation most fluent in digital technology, have the highest burnout rate, 49.6%. Nearly double that of people in their 50s. Isn't that somewhat ironic? Did technology free us or did it bind us more precisely? Psychologists describe something called phantom vibration syndrome. Feeling your phone vibrate when it didn't. Thinking you heard the Kakao Talk notification sound in the shower. This is evidence that your brain is in constant response-ready tension. Your body is sending signals. Technology created an exit. But culture locked that door again. 11% of people say this, I'm afraid if I leave, I'll be ostracized. This isn't a physical prison. It's psychological, relational. Perhaps that's the true nature of imprisonment in the digital age. Of course, some companies attempt separation, using dedicated work messengers like Slack or Korean alternatives apps, but many companies make a different choice. Partly because of added costs, but mainly because they want faster responses. Work messengers, you check those during work hours. But Kakao Talk, always on every Korean's phone, 24 hours a day, faster replies, faster decisions. That's the real reason many companies choose Kakao Talk. Against a platform used by 97% of the population, individual choice becomes rather powerless. And corporate choice, ultimately it's about efficiency. During the same era, other countries made different choices. A German automotive company starting in 2011 does this. 30 minutes after work ends until 30 minutes before work starts the next day. The server blocks email transmission entirely. Not a matter of employee willpower, the system forcibly disconnects. Another German company automatically deletes emails received during vacation. No recovery possible. The United States doesn't have particularly strong legal regulations, but in an individualistic culture, contacting someone after work hours is considered rude behavior. The culture itself creates boundaries without needing laws. France, in 2017, became the first country in the world to legislate the right to disconnect. Companies with 50 employees must negotiate and create a charter with their workers. Australia went further in August 2024. They gave workers a legal right to refuse contact outside working hours, and companies that violate this face fines up to $94,000. And Korea? Right to disconnect bills get submitted to Parliament every year, but they remain under discussion. But maybe this isn't just Korea's story. Technology is gradually eroding labor boundaries everywhere in the world. We're asking ourselves now, where should we draw the line between convenience and freedom? Between speed and sustainability, what should we choose? What kind of society are we designing right now? Notification sound. Is your phone buzzing right now?